The prevailing sentiment is that the Panthers will go heavy on defense, both in the draft and free agency.
Yeah.
Offensively, though, with the strides that were made, especially by Bryce Young last year,
Right.
what do you think the chances are that another impact playmaker, skill position player,
Right.
is added through the draft or free agency?
Well, at some point, I think they're going to need to add to the running back room. Obviously, Jonathan Brooks going to miss a large part, if not all, of the season after the second ACL tear. So they're going to need to find somebody to back up Chuba Hubbard. They're going to need to probably add to the receiver room. It would be nice, but one of the things I've found interesting about kind of the scope of the Bryce Young career so far, he came into the league, and the discussion about him was he distributes it so well, he doesn't have to have elite receiver talent. And if you look at what he was doing last year, late in the season, he was doing it with an old Adam Thielen, David Moore, an undrafted rookie in Jalen Coker, and Xavier Legette kind of in and out of the lineup a little bit. So he was doing that thing that everybody said he was capable of doing 2 years ago. And so I don't know. I mean, early in the offseason, there was a lot of talk about, oh, is it T. Higgins? Do they want to go make a splash for a $30 million receiver? I don't think, given where they are as a roster right now, you've got to do enough work on defense that you're not in play for that. I don't think. I mean, in my opinion, that wouldn't be the best allocation of resources when you've got multiple needs on defense, because Bryce has shown he can move it around. He can find a lot of different guys, and they don't all have to be first-round picks or $30 million free agents.
How do you think they prioritize the needs on defense?
I think you got to find linemen. When you're where they were in run defense last year, and obviously getting Derek Brown back is big. That's like another top 10 pick. Boom.
That would be the best free agent available.
No question. No question. And if Derek Brown was a free agent, they'd spend a lot of money. Oh, wait, they did that last year.
They did
that. So I think, I am anticipating a long-term deal for JC this offseason. You take care of your guys. JC and Derek have to be the core of this thing moving forward. And they're going to have to go find some more people to go along with Derek. I mean, A'Shawn Robinson played really well last year, and even without Derek. And I think if Derek's out there with him, he might even look better. But they've just got to add dudes, and the bigger the better. They need multiple defensive linemen to be able to do what they want to do.
Last thing before we let you go, what do you think the lesson from last year's draft was? Because that draft seemed to produce, top to bottom, and I count guys like Coker and Damani Richardson. I should say the rookie class, not the draft class. The rookie class last year. There were more guys making an impact. Some of that was because of injuries and the way the roster shook out because of those. But there were more guys making an impact from that rookie class last year than we had seen previously the last few years. Yeah. What do you think the lesson learned?
I think one of the lessons I learned from last year's draft is don't get locked into any particular position, because when you saw the way they moved around the board, when they traded 39 to get that second this year, and then they moved up to get Brooks. I mean, I think Dan and Brant go into that draft room with an idea of kind of vague ideas of targets, that particular guys. And if the board moves and they see runs here, they're willing to move. I mean, they moved around a lot last year. They've got 9 total picks, 8 in the first 5 rounds. So they've got the kind of ammunition to be mobile. So it's a long time from 8 to, their second round pick. Thanks, Rams, for winning games late in the year and pushing that thing back and back. So I think if they see a run, or if there's somebody they're targeting who's a little bit higher than where they're picking, I think what they showed last year was they're willing to move around in both directions.